Hello everyone and welcome back to Naked Expat Channel. Today I'm kicking off a brand new series, the top expat myths that refuse to die. The ideas that live rent-free in people's heads. The stuff your friends back home swear is true, even though they've never left Birmingham. And we're starting with a big one. A myth so widespread, so deeply believed, so confidently repeated, that sometimes even we expats start to wonder if it's true. And that myth is, everyone back home will be jealous of you once you move abroad. Now, the theory, it sounds lovely, doesn't it? Your friends picture you stretched out on a white sand beach, a gentle breeze brushing your hair, or in my case, my forehead, a cocktail in one hand, perhaps a beautiful young lady fanning you with a palm leaf. When the actual reality is you're sweating through your shirt at 9 AM, you're late because a tricycle overtook a lorry using your lane, there's a power cut, and your neighbour has fired up the karaoke machine, set to Armageddon mode, at a volume that could summon the ancient gods. So today we're going to break down exactly why this myth is hilarious, why it persists, and what the reality actually looks like, with plenty of humour and a few stories from the expat trenches. Let's jump in. People back home have an almost cinematic image of you. To them, you don't live abroad, you float abroad. They imagine you stepping out of your condo every morning, sun glistening off your freshly moistened skin, birds chirping, angels singing, and your personal mango tree gently lowering fruit into your hands. They imagine your daily routine goes something like this. Wake up, beach, swim, cocktails, massage, dinner by candlelight, and repeat. Same every day. Meanwhile, the rest of us, real expats, are like, wake up, realise the fan has stopped working because the power went out, shower, which is now cold because the water heater also stopped working, realise you're out of coffee, cry internally, repeat. And still your friends back home think you're living some exotic James Bond lifestyle. I remember one friend messaging me saying, mate, I bet you're living like a king out there. And at that exact moment, I was standing in a supermarket holding a bag of onions, trying not to pass out from the heat, thinking, this is not king behaviour, this is a peasant who's too hot to function properly. And I swear, if there's ever a biopic about my life as an expat, that onion incident will probably be the most dramatic scene. So, why do people think that you're living the dream? It all starts the moment you announce you're moving abroad. People immediately place you in like a special category, the one who escaped. And once you've been given that title, they'll run wild with the imagination. They'll assume you spend 80% of your time on the beach. You spend the other 20% drinking cocktails. Mosquitoes don't bite you because they respect you. You attend glamorous parties, you're dating supermodels, you've become mysteriously 20 years younger overnight. They genuinely believe foreign air has anti-aging properties. So happy for you, right? You'll never age now. Meanwhile, I aged 5 years the first time I tried to renew a visa during a public holiday week. What about the reality that they never see? Let's break down some of the real expat lifestyle experiences. The sweat factor. People say, oh, it must be lovely living somewhere warm. Yeah, warm is nice, but this is not warm. This is sweat in places I didn't know I could sweat level. This is, why is my elbow sweating? That wasn't in the brochure. If I walked onto a plane in the UK sweating the way I sweat in Southeast Asia, the cabin crew would think I was smuggling tropical fish under my shirt. And as for transportation adventures, people imagine you're driving along coastal roads with the wind on your face. Reality? You're in a tricycle behind a man transporting 3 sacks of rice, 2 chickens, a live goat, and what appears to be a perfectly normal child just casually holding on to it all. and no one else thinks this is a problem. As for power cuts, your friends imagine you in a modern tropical condo with perfect amenities. They do not imagine you sitting in the dark, holding your phone like it's the last torch in the universe, praying the electricity comes back on before the aircon warms up and kills you. This one is an expat classic. Your friend back home says you must sleep so peacefully with that ocean breeze. No, I sleep with someone 3 streets away singing My Way like the final boss of a video game, at a volume so powerful it could knock birds out of the trees. The ocean is quiet, the karaoke machine definitely is not. A funny thing about jealousy, people back home want to be jealous. They're ready for it. They want to imagine you live in this perfect tropical fantasy. But the second you tell them about anything real, the bugs, the heat, the traffic, the power cuts, they immediately lose interest. It's like they want you to live abroad, but only the Instagram version of abroad. I once told a friend, yeah, the beach is lovely, but the water was a bit rough yesterday. And he replied, mate, I don't care. You live near a beach, stop complaining. So apparently, when you move abroad, you lose the right to have any bad days. Stub your toe? Doesn't count. You live in the tropics. Sunburn? Your fault. You live in paradise. You get food poisoning? No sympathy. You live by the sea, so it cancels it out. The truth about friends back home. Here's the real reason why people think they're jealous of you. It's not your life they're jealous of. It's the idea of your life. They envy the fantasy. They admire the dream. But the real day-to-day reality? If they lived here for 1 week, they would run home crying because the internet went down during Bake Off. People back home don't actually want your life. They want the brochure version. They want the carefully filtered highlight reel. But being an expat is like any other life. It's amazing in some ways, challenging in others, and hilarious in more moments than you'd ever expect. Here's what I've learned. People back home might think they're jealous of you, but once they hear a few real stories, they suddenly lose all envy and say, oh yeah, I couldn't do that. I like my Tesco meal deals too much. And that's fine. Not everyone is built for an expat life. Expat life isn't about perfection. It's about adventure, openness, humour, and expecting that sometimes your day will be interrupted by someone who thinks it's appropriate to sing Bon Jovi at 6 a.m. Would I change it? No, because the chaos becomes part of the charm. And that is the truth behind the myth. Thank you for joining me today for episode 1 of the Expat Myths series. If you enjoyed this video, if it made you laugh, smile, or nod in painful expat recognition, then please don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and consider becoming a channel member for exclusive discounts, early access to most of my new videos, and soon a members only weekly live stream. This is the Naked Expat Channel, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, enjoy.